This episode begins right where Master Sha places his spear into Jiang's hands. Today, Jiang is finally ready to face the Iron Beast. At the same time, Gao's followers start mocking him. They say this guy is nothing compared to Senior Gao. After all, Yao recently broke through into the qi refining realm, while Jiang still looks too weak to even reach that level. But the funny thing is, none of them know that Jiang has already entered qi refining. The disciples continue laughing and say that today Jiang will end up badly injured by the beast. Then they ask Gao how many breaths he has refined so far. With a proud expression, Yao replies that he has refined 17 breaths. The moment everyone hears that, they immediately begin praising him even more. Meanwhile, Master Sha walks toward the mechanism that controls the Iron Beast's chains. Honestly, he never wanted to release the beast in the first place, but because of Steward Chun's orders, he had no choice. A few seconds later, the chains finally come off. Elder Sha feels terrible inside. He already understands that Chun is simply using these children to vent his anger. At the same time, Jiang also realizes that Chun intentionally targeted him. But deep down, Jiang reminds himself that this is simply how the cultivation world works. Sometimes one person makes the decision, and another person pays the price. Nearby, Leon is extremely nervous for Jiang's safety. But Jiang himself stays calm. He keeps reminding himself that walking the righteous path and punishing evil is his duty. Today, as a newly advanced qi refining cultivator, he plans to challenge this beast head-on. Suddenly, the Iron Beast releases a terrifying sound wave, trying to dominate Jiang mentally. Then without hesitation, it charges straight toward him. Jiang immediately blocks the attack with his spear, but the beast's raw strength is overwhelming. It starts pushing him backward with pure brute force. Then the beast swings its tail with incredible power and slams Jiang directly into a wall. Before Jiang can fully recover, the Iron Beast charges again. Luckily, Jiang reacts just in time and jumps to the side. Then in one smooth movement, he leaps onto the beast's back. Jiang immediately tries to stab his spear into its body, but the beast begins thrashing around violently. No matter what happens, it wants Jiang off its back. The beast crashes from side to side trying to throw him off, and eventually it succeeds. Now Jiang lands directly in front of the monster. At this point, the Iron Beast opens its massive mouth, ready to swallow him whole. But at the last second, Jiang jams his spear between the beast's jaws. Now he's being dragged violently across the arena while desperately trying to keep himself alive. The other disciples can't even bear to watch anymore. Some of them completely close their eyes. Meanwhile, Jiang struggles with all his strength trying to pull the spear free. Watching the battle, Yao suddenly starts laughing. He says this fight is becoming entertaining. His followers also get excited and say that Senior Gao's revenge is finally about to happen. After all, Jiang embarrassed him before, and now he's finally being punished for it. But unlike them, Steward Chun isn't smiling at all. Instead, he looks confused. Inside his mind, he starts thinking that this Iron Beast is far too ferocious. On top of that, he intentionally kept it starving for several days. Under normal circumstances, the beast should have already devoured Jiang by now. And yet, Jiang is still standing. A moment later, Jiang attacks again, searching for even the smallest opening to finish the beast off. But this attack also misses completely. Instead, the Iron Beast smashes him away again with its tail. Now even the surrounding disciples begin noticing something strange. They say Iron Beasts normally never become this enraged. So why did this one suddenly enter a berserk state? Some of them even start worrying that Jiang might actually die if the fight continues. A few disciples want to stop the battle. But nobody has the courage to go against Steward Chun's decision. Meanwhile, Chun silently thinks to himself that the ancestor intentionally demoted him to the second courtyard long ago. And because of that humiliation, he plans to take revenge on the ancestor's descendants. At the same time, the Iron Beast suddenly unleashes even more power and leaps directly toward Jiang again. But this time, Jiang slides underneath the beast and attacks its tail from below. Unfortunately, even that strike fails. Now the Iron Beast becomes even more furious than before. Seeing this, Jiang immediately jumps onto the top of a giant pillar inside the arena. Standing there, he quickly starts thinking of a strategy. Right now, he still cannot fully activate his divine power. Which means even if he earns merits, his strength will still remain limited by his current cultivation level. His battle power cannot increase instantly. That's when Jiang suddenly gets an idea. Instead of saving his merits, why not use them to refine his qi power right now? At this moment, he fully realizes how cruel and difficult the cultivation path truly is. If he wants to survive today, he'll have to give everything he has. But there's another problem. As long as the Iron Beast remains in this berserk state, defeating it will be nearly impossible. A few seconds later, the beast starts smashing into the pillar itself, trying to bring Jiang down no matter what. Jiang then shouts towards Steward Chun. He says the beast has completely gone berserk, so how is he supposed to defeat something like this? But Chun coldly replies that if Jiang wants to become a disciple of the spirit butterfly sect, then he shouldn't fear such a tiny beast. Nearby, Leon becomes furious hearing those words. She already knows Jiang is being targeted unfairly. At this point, Jiang finally makes a decision. He realizes Chun will never listen to reason. So if that's the case, then he might as well create chaos himself. Immediately, Jiang activates his divine punishment technique and launches another attack. At the same moment, the Iron Beast destroys the pillar completely. But before the debris can crush him, Jiang jumps straight out of the arena. The collapsing pillar creates total chaos everywhere. And during all the confusion, Jiang suddenly runs right past Yao. Meanwhile, the Iron Beast climbs over the broken pillar and locks its eyes directly onto Yao. The moment Yao sees the starving beast charging toward him, his soul practically leaves his body. He knows this monster hasn't eaten in days. There's no way he wants to mess with it now. But before he can escape, the Iron Beast attacks him directly. The reason the beast targets Yao specifically is because Yao was responsible for feeding it, and recently he failed to do so. Now the enraged beast starts attacking every disciple in sight. Still, its main target remains Gao. No matter where Gao runs, the beast keeps chasing him. Terrified out of his mind, Yao immediately jumps toward Master Chun for protection. But Chun angrily throws him aside and attacks the beast himself. And right at that exact moment, Jiang sees his opportunity. He leaps high into the air and strikes directly at the Iron Beast's tail, its true weak point. Jiang removes the crystal protecting the tail and instantly drives his spear straight into it. Finally, the Iron Beast collapses heavily onto the ground. Jiang had cleverly turned the entire battle around. Meanwhile, Steward Chun is completely shocked. Inside his mind, he keeps thinking this shouldn't be possible. Jiang hasn't even fully stabilized his chi refining energy yet. So where did that terrifying speed come from? Now Chun becomes suspicious of Jiang's background. He feels like there's definitely something unusual about this boy. Nearby, poor Dio got beaten up for absolutely no reason. Meanwhile, Jiang walks forward holding the crystal and calmly tells Elder Chun that he completed the mission. But even after Jiang's victory, Chun refuses to praise him. Without saying a single word, he simply turns around and leaves. On the other hand, Leon becomes incredibly happy seeing Jiang safe and victorious. At the same time, all the disciples around them begin praising Jiang's strength. Some say that Jiang only recently joined the sect, yet he already defeated such a terrifying Iron Beast. Others praise his incredible combat technique. One disciple even admits it took him an entire month just to kill one spiritual beast. But Jiang accomplished the same thing in only 2 days. Meanwhile, Yao is absolutely furious. Jiang completely ruined both his revenge and Master Chun's plan. Nearby, several disciples start saying that the Liu family is truly impressive. In fact, this is the very first time Leon has looked genuinely happy since arriving at the sect. Later that evening, Jiang and Leon are shown sitting quietly together on top of a cliff. Leon tells him that she was honestly very worried about him. After all, they had only recently joined the sect, yet they were immediately assigned a deadly mission. Jiang nods and admits he also felt like they were being targeted unfairly. Then he remembers just how powerful the Iron Beast truly was. If he hadn't used his merits to break through during the fight, he probably would have become the beast's dinner. Deep inside, Jiang still cannot understand why Steward Chun is treating them this way. A few moments later, Liang quietly tells Jiang something important. She says that even though their ancestor is still present within the sect, he can no longer openly protect them. Which means from now on, the two of them will have to protect each other. As she says that, Leon gently places her hand on top of Jiang's. The moment Jiang notices it, Leon immediately gets embarrassed and quickly pulls her hand away. To be honest, Jiang also started developing feelings for her. With a slightly awkward smile, he apologizes for making her worry earlier. Then he promises that he'll try not to put her through something like that again. But Leon soon reveals another shocking piece of information. Recently, she discovered that many members of the Liu family once went to Kongming Peak. And every single one of them was considered a Foundation establishment genius. But strangely, none of them ever returned. Which means very few members of the Liu family are still left alive inside the sect. That's why they must rely on each other from now on. The next day, Jiang and Leon receive another mission involving Iron Beasts. This time, both of them move together perfectly. Their teamwork becomes smoother and sharper with every attack. Each battle is slowly making them faster, stronger, and more experienced. During the fight, an Iron Beast suddenly rushes toward Leon. But before it can reach her, Jiang jumps in front of it and redirects its attention. Using that opening, Leon immediately stabs the beast with her spear. At the same time, Jiang attacks the creature's tail and removes the crystal protecting its weak point. Now the beast finally collapses and begins taking its last breaths. After the battle, Leon sighs and says that ever since they arrived here, all they've done is hunt beasts non-stop. They still haven't learned any powerful cultivation techniques like the other disciples. She wonders when they'll finally get the chance to cultivate properly. Just then, Elder Shah arrives nearby. He explains that killing spiritual beasts is also an important part of cultivation. By hunting them, cultivators learn how to control their true chi and sharpen their spiritual senses. Not only that, constant battle also improves reflexes and combat skills. That's why they should never underestimate the second courtyard. In fact, many of the sect's strongest and most terrifying disciples all started their training there. And the heights those people eventually reached are almost unimaginable. Hearing this completely changes Leon's perspective. She immediately thanks Elder Shah for clearing up her misunderstanding. At that moment, they suddenly notice Jiang standing beside the dead beast. Oddly enough, he appears to be quietly chanting something. He says that all living beings come from the earth, and eventually return to the earth. Life is like a dream, while death is the only true reality. No one can remain immortal forever. But someday, the soul may return to this world once again. After saying that, Jiang gently closes the beast's eyes. Leon curiously asks him what kind of chant he just used. Jiang explains that he recited rebirth mantras to calm the creature's soul. Maybe one day, the beast will be reborn into this world again. But before their conversation can continue, Steward Chun suddenly appears. With a cold expression, he says their mission must be complete already if they have enough free time to stand around chatting. The moment everyone sees him, they immediately bow respectfully. Elder Shah then reports that they already processed the beast meat and will soon send it to the kitchen. Hearing that, Chun nods in satisfaction. He says everyone worked hard today. Then he reveals that the sect elders are holding a special banquet tonight. And apparently, this feast is extremely important. So Chun orders Elder Shah to take Jiang to the kitchen and prepare whatever ingredients the elders request. Jiang and Leon are just about to leave with Elder Shah. But suddenly, Chun stops Leon. He tells her that he has another mission specifically for her. Leon immediately turns around. Chun says he wants her to collect spiritual herbs. The moment Elder Shah hears this, his expression changes completely. He becomes visibly worried and asks how they can possibly send a young girl out alone. But Chun instantly gets angry. He says gathering herbs doesn't require 100 people. According to him, it's a simple task, and Leon should be more than capable of handling it herself. Before leaving, Jiang quietly warns Leon to stay extremely careful. He admits that he doesn't trust Master Chun at all. After Jiang leaves, Chun suddenly starts speaking to Leon in a much calmer tone. He says he heard she possesses a wind spiritual root, which makes her movements naturally light and fast. That's why he believes she's perfect for this mission. Then Chun explains the real purpose behind the task. Tonight's banquet will feature a very special dish called Jade Bamboo Salted Immortal Stew. In fact, even Sect Master Fong absolutely loves this meal. But to prepare it properly, they need a rare ingredient known as Spirit Bamboo Immortal Grass. And according to Chun, that grass can only be found deep inside Jiang Mountain. Specifically, within the dense bamboo forest in the southern region. The moment Leon sees the grass, she'll recognize it immediately. As soon as Yao hears this location, his face changes. Nervously, he asks if Chun is talking about the iron bamboo forest. But before anyone else can react, Leon calmly accepts the mission. Chun then tells her they need at least 5 immortal grasses. And if she manages to bring back even more, that would be even better. Meanwhile, Yao looks extremely uneasy. It's obvious he's worried about what might happen to Leon inside that forest. Still, Leon respectfully greets everyone and immediately leaves for her mission. As Leon walks away, Jiao can only stare at her silently. Deep inside, he already knows how dangerous that forest truly is. He keeps thinking that the iron bamboo forest is basically a death zone. Nobody knows what will happen to Leon once she enters it. Part of Yao wants to warn her about everything. But if he speaks against Master Chun's orders, Chun will definitely become furious. So instead, Yao walks over to Chun and starts trying to flatter him. The moment he arrives, he even begins massaging Chun's shoulders. Then Yao carefully says that Leon is only a first-level chi refining cultivator. And yet Chun still sent her into the iron bamboo forest. He reminds Chun that many Foundation establishment cultivators from their sect entered that forest before. But none of them ever returned alive. So if Leon goes there, her chances of survival are almost zero. Yao also warns him that if Immortal Zhu ever finds out about this, she'll become extremely angry. But the moment Chun hears Immortal Zhu's name, his expression instantly darkens. Coldly, he tells Yao never to mention that woman in front of him again. According to Chun, she's worthless. He says she only became the ancestor's concubine because of her beauty. And because of that, he has absolutely no respect for her. Even if she's the ancestor's favorite woman, Chun refuses to let her do whatever she wants inside the sect. As for Leon, in Chun's eyes, she's nothing more than a weak outer disciple. And weak disciples die all the time. Even if the ancestor personally investigates later, Chun believes nobody will ever find evidence against him. After hearing all this, Yao becomes deeply disappointed. Quietly, he says that even if Leon is only an outer disciple, her life still has value. How can they simply send her to die like this? The moment Yao says that, Chun explodes with anger. He immediately tells Yao to shut up. Then Chun coldly says that if Yao cares so much about Leon, he should go collect the spirit bamboo immortal grass himself. Seeing Chun this furious, Yao instantly panics. Chun continues yelling at him. He says the only reason Yao stays close to him is because Chun respects Yao's parents. Otherwise, he would have fed Yao to the spiritual beasts long ago. Then Chun orders him to get lost immediately. He even says he doesn't want to see Yao's face for the rest of the day. Hearing that, Yao leaves in frustration. Honestly, even though Yao caused problems for Jiang and Leon before, he isn't truly evil deep down. The scene then switches back to Jiang. At this moment, he still has no idea that Leon was basically sent straight into danger. While he's working near the kitchen area, another girl suddenly arrives nearby. The surrounding disciples immediately lower their heads respectfully when they see her. Her name is Feng Shui. She walks directly toward Jiang and asks if he's the new disciple from the Liu family. Jiang respectfully greets her and calmly answers yes. And with that cliffhanger, the episode finally comes to an end. Thanks for watching. Take care and see you in the next episode.